And get started here. If you need to go on over there and get some more dessert, go ahead. Need a show of hands of anyone that needs us to get the air turned on, get it down a little bit. For some reason, this is, I think, the only place in the building that they can't regulate the temperature, so we'll just have to persevere through it. It's too close for me to, too far away for me to read it with my glasses and too close for my eyes, so I may miss some of this today. But we always start off with thanking everyone and trying to get the thanks out to the people that make both the boys and girls program what they are, and the help that they've given during the year. Chad will take notes, and when you see him writing, it's someone that I left out, and so that he'll get that in when he talks. But first of all, thanking the Lincoln County administration that gives us this opportunity every year to coach these young men and women, and gives us the opportunity to be around the good citizens of this county, and so we appreciate that. Paul Henry, the one that I can feel a little empathy with over there with his leg propped up, again is going up beyond the call of duty in what he does. He does such a really good job of not only in basketball but supporting all the sports in the county, and doing a great job. And he's not only one of our media guys, he's a very close friend, and I appreciate everything that he does. Radio guys, I don't think, with my glasses off, I can't see very well, so that's good. The radio guys aren't here, but I think Brian, his daughter's sick today, but Brian Neese, Lance Stephen, Michael Kaufman, and Austin Coletti. Austin did the stats and things this year, and that saves Chad and I both a lot of time to have that ready, and also have that at halftime. But their support over the years has been really good, and it's their friends on and off the floor for us. Kyle Davis did a great job with an assist from Matt Slayton with the sound this year. Kyle's a great personality, and we get to hear him at school just about every day. So, but he did a really good job with the sound. I want to thank Jay Cavender for doing our book. That's a very thankless job, both here at home where he's got the responsibility of being the official book, and then away where that he's got to make a trip to do that. So we appreciate that very much. Our booster club, which over the years has just done such a fabulous job. It takes a lot of money. The way that we try to handle our program up here, and what we get through the gate, all goes toward our basketball team. But there's a lot more involved in it, and our booster club over the years has really supported us well. And the last several years, that's been the president's been David Sanders, and David has done a great job. He's done a great job as a booster club president. He's done a great job as a supporter, and as someone who has helped coach a lot of these kids coming up. And saw him at a gym yesterday, and he's back at coaching again. So we appreciate David for all he's done. Jamie Slayton, who gets to write a lot of last-minute checks that we panicked that we forgot to pay this or need this for that, and she's always been really good about not being mean to us when we ask for that. So appreciate what she's done. And then Donna Brazier that helped set all this up, and the secretary and thing has done a really good job also. So and then without my glasses, I don't know if Rick's here today. Rick Gatlin, that went above and beyond too with the concession stand. And that is a very thankless job of having to do all of that and get that set up, for every one of our home games. And then last and not or last in this is the parents. There's a lot of work that y'all put in, that you do the time, spend the time in the concession stand doing that. Every time that there's, for our golf tournament that we sell whole sponsorships and things, I imagine probably 90% of that is done by the parents instead of the kids. The kids may do some of it, but the parents do a lot of it, and we appreciate that, and know that we have a really good group of kids, and that comes from the way that their kids are parented, and a lot of times you can tell how a kid acts is how their parents let them act. So that's been really good. I always put stars around this. Since one year I forgot this, and much to my dismay, and was brought up by Coach Tips. But I want to thank my wife, Michelle. She's kind of a voice of reason sometimes when I'm home screaming at the TV and watching the film or whatever. She has a different perspective about things, and so that's really good. She's also very good as a buyer of Subway sandwiches and Dr. Peppers for after the game. And but I appreciate all the support that she does give me. She's at the home games, she's at the away games, and it's painful for her to have to watch sometime, I'm sure, and just like it is for everyone. But she does a really good job of supporting me. The coaches, before I get into my coaches on this side of the table, Coach Tips, he's gone from being the kid that I coached to he's gone through the whole spectrum. We became friends, then we're peers, that we're both coaches, and I'd like to think that I had a little bit of influence on him, but as the years go by, he has more and more influence on me, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But the only thing that we really disagree with on a whole lot is that I wish that he'd have his guys put the balls up more. But other than that, he's a voice of sanity sometimes in a world of chaos. That we have parking lot duty, and we have for several years together every morning, and there's a lot of discussion on a lot of different topics that's helped over the years. So I do appreciate everything that Chad has done and the friendship that I have with him. Coach Cavender, you can't put a value on her or a price on her value to our team. What she brings in the preaching of the fundamentals that she preaches in every practice, and not only the fundamentals of basketball, but the fundamentals of being a good person, and the fundamentals of being uplifting to your teammates, and just a constant source of a positive, edifying influence on young people. And she helps me in so many ways, and has helped our team in so many ways. And her and I meet at 7 every morning and talk about how we can do things better, and how we can make us better, how we can make the team better. And I appreciate her friendship, and plus the fact of how good a coach that she is. She's very good at teaching accountability. There's times when the girls have learned to tune me out, okay, that they've played for me for a long time, so it's kind of like if they get that blank look that probably you get as a parent sometimes, that that it's kind of going in one year and out the other. But then Coach Cavender can get kind of red-faced, and she can get to them a little bit quicker and better than I can in that. So I do appreciate that. Coach Perry came in this year. It was her first year, and I'm telling you, she was all in from day one. It's been really good. She came in a tough situation. She came from Alabama, came up here. She's teaching a course that there's testing in, but she went with us all summer long, coached the JV all summer long, and that was before she was ever officially hired. And so she's been all in from the word go. We're fortunate that we have her. We want to give her more help, and look forward to how that's going to evolve and get better in the years to come. But I do appreciate everything that you've done, Coach. I'm getting to the end of the thanks here pretty quick. Matt Prince. Matt does a lot of individual work with the players. He volunteers his time to sit on our bench during our games, getting his input, because he has a perspective that he's closer to the players' age and how they look at things than someone like me, and can see it from their perspective a little bit. But it has been really interesting to watch him evolve from seeing things from a player's standpoint to seeing those same situations as a coach, and see how that has evolved. And he is and will make a really good coach as time goes on. And I appreciate everything he does for us and our players. And then I want to thank our players. And it's hard playing this game sometimes, and it can be fun. There's a lot of hard work that's involved in it. And y'all kept trying to do the things that we asked you to do, and that as a coach, that's all that we can ask, is that you come in every day and you have the attitude to try to get better. And we wanted you to come in with the best attitude and the best effort that you could come up with. And I thought you did a good job of that. And then Cheyenne Counts, who's here today, and Madison Carter, that had the thankless job of filming and to do the dirty work around the program sometimes, of keeping the clock, but they were really important to our program. And Cheyenne especially does a really good job, and I appreciate her being here today. All right, the things that I may have left out of that were unintentional. I'll talk a little bit about the season. We were 17-12. We were second in 8 AAA. We lost in the first round of region to Oakland, which was our third time to play them, and probably the worst that we played. We played a good first half, and then just couldn't get things going in the second half. Obviously, the 17-12 and not winning district was not what we wanted. We had set a goal to win the district championship at the first of the year, and I don't think we wavered from that goal. I think that the kids, put the time in, they put the effort in. It was one of those years that we struggled all year with playing complete games. That we would get, we'd get 3 quarters in and not be able to finish that fourth, or play a good 3 quarters and not play a good second quarter. But it was a prevailing thing all of the years. And there's some of the things, injuries played a part, maybe some in that. I know that we missed Bree and Chelsea and Lily early in the year, and they worked hard to get back. When you look back and you look at why on some of these things, I'm sure coaching was one of the top reasons of it, and there's probably several amens going on out there, but that's just part of the process. That's what we do, and coaches make decisions, and then we go from there. And the decisions are not ever with the intent of losing. I know Coach Tips well enough, and I know myself well enough that any decisions that we made were with the intent of winning, whether it turned out that way or not. I think team chemistry has a lot to go in with being consistent, and that's something that there were times that we needed to be better at. And so like I said, that's just something that that I hope that as players move on, and we have seniors moving on, we have some, we have kids moving up, but it doesn't matter whether you're playing basketball or whether you're involved in a business or whatever you're involved in life, the chemistry within your building has a lot to the success of it. And learning to be a positive influence on others around you is an important thing, and I hope our kids learn some of that this year. I'll talk a little bit more about the injuries when we talk about individuals, and there is some luck involved in games. You don't see many three-quarter court shots go in with 1.2 seconds after they put another 0.3 of a second on there and stuff, and that was kind of in the ending of a 3-game series that probably kept us from winning 20 games this year over Christmas, and that was just that was part of it. But I did think that the players kept trying to improve, and they did that up until the very final game. The seniors will move on to college and being productive citizens. They're good people, okay? All of you are. It's been a pleasure coaching you over the years. I can remember, taking you to camp between y'all 7th and 8th grade years, and when you had a joy of playing that had nothing to do with winning and losing, okay? Because you got your heads beat in that whole summer. Coach Taylor had you that whole summer, and y'all were playing Mount Juliet. You were playing anybody that would play, and you didn't care because you just wanted to play basketball. And hold on to that. Find something in your life that has that passion for you, whether it's basketball or whatever it is, and have that passion for what you do in life, and you guys will go a long way. Those returning players, come back and play with your heart, and and be the best teammates that you can be, and that's what I would wish for anything. We'll go through the awards. We'll do the participation awards first. As I call your name, come up here and get your participation award, and then I'll go over the other awards. Cheyenne Counts. I talked a little bit about Cheyenne. I'll talk about the freshman group. They did a really good job, and it's hard not being there at the same time as the varsity. They had to come in and rush, but I thought they did. They came. What I can say about them is they came in and they worked hard every day. They weren't. It wasn't someone that you had to talk to a lot about effort. And so as we go through our freshmen, we had some injuries involved in them, and still do to a certain extent. But they came in, and as a coach, all you can do is ask kids to have a good attitude, and to come in and play hard, and they did their job. Olivia Colbert. Savannah Cox. Ashley Gross. Allie Hargraves. Madeline Howe. Julia Marsh. Sophomore group consisted of a group of kids. Some of them played strictly on the varsity. Some of them went back and forth, and they're a group that has a chance of having some really good basketball players, and that's as a whole group. They work really hard. For the most part, they got along really well with each other. And I'm looking forward to their work in the future. So I do hope that they continue to work hard. Hannah Brazier. Shayla Castillo. Reagan Donovan. Brianna Faulkner. Sloan Mann. Emily Ogle. Allie Sandlin. Sophomore roles are going to they'll need to change some. The ones that there's going to have to be, they're going to have to step up and be able to step into the role that some of these seniors had and things, and to do a good job of that. I need to go back. Started, but it was over here on the side of somebody else to think, and looking over there at you, Grant, could see it. Grant Maddox, who was our trainer, he did a great job. He was someone that he's welcome at the white table anytime, and that's a major compliment. And but he does a great job of taking care of your daughters and sons, but also not letting them get by with stuff. So that he did a really great job. Our juniors were major contributors this year, all three of them, and did extremely well. Brooke was our point guard and all year long, and did extremely well. Lauren was a post player that backed up sound and showed major improvement as the year went on. And then Carly played just about where, I think she played everywhere but the five. And stuff, and played anywhere that I asked her to play, and with a smile on her face. And I'm looking forward to all three of those giving us senior leadership and being great players for us next year. Lauren Bradley. Carly Fee. Brooke Ferguson. Before we get into the senior awards, and we talk about the senior awards as part of the season, we had three players that in 8 AAA, when it comes to individual awards, they vote on the MVP. The coaches, there are 7 coaches. They vote on the MVP, and they vote on all district. Every coach has 1 vote, and it takes probably 5 to 7 votes to 5 to 6 votes to get the all district award. We had 3 players this year that did that. Samantha Williams was all district and as a unanimous choice, and Bethany Lehman was all district as a unanimous choice, and Sloan Mann was all district as a unanimous choice. So give them a hand, please. Also, there's an all-tournament team, and that's done by the committee of the whole school. And that committee of the whole school was from Coffee County, and I have no idea who was on it and stuff. And we had the players are only chosen from the other 4 teams that are left at the central site there. And we had 1 player make the all-tournament team, and that was Sloan Mann. Give her a hand. Now, the senior awards, Coach. The first player was a 3-year starter. She's played more minutes as a high school player than anybody in this room as far as minutes at Lincoln County. Mac started for us as a sophomore. Started all the games her sophomore year. She moved to the point guard her junior year, and with Brooks' maturity, she was able to move back to the wing for her senior year. She played really well down the stretch. She's been a good influence on our team and worked hard, and she's done all that while she's waited on tables and worked part-time. That's a part of it. And but I do appreciate the opportunity to coach you all these years. McKinley Fitch. This girl, her time here was cut short with injuries and illness. She's a great teammate. I'm not big on guinea pigs and things though, but I would have really have liked to have seen what kind of player she could have been without the injuries and the illness and stuff. But she was always a great teammate, always there, and helping to try to do what Coach Kavner talks about is edifying her teammates. And Lily Foster. This kid's a great defender, and God, where she can shoot the basketball and things. Started the season off with a gruesome injury that was I know was hard on everybody, but it was really hard on her. And for her to fight her way back and get back and contribute was positive for all of us. She said she's never been anything but a good teammate, and was never anyone that we had to worry about her effort. And so it was kids like that are the kids that you want to have on your team. That's Chelsea Gatlin. This was one of the girls that was all district. She's dealt with her own injuries during her career. She missed a lot of last year with a muscle pull and being out. She's a great kid, great competitor. She's going to sign Tuesday with Martin Methodist. I don't know if they have a clue of what they're getting into, but she's a great kid. She works, like I said, her attitude, her effort, all that has. She's been a pleasure to coach for the 3 years that I've had her here, and looking forward to hope her career keeps going well down at Martin, and that's Bethany Lehman. And the last senior, again, she was all district as a post player. Oh, next to the last player. Okay. My bad. Okay. So Coach
That's why I'm here.
Okay, that's why she's there. I can't read my writing. This kid was playing the best basketball of her career. And I've never seen an injury with less effort. Bree Sanders, we were at Thomas, and next to the last day of camp in Chevyville, and she's coming down the court, and there's nobody around her, and went down with an ACL, and that was the third week of June of last year, and that kid busted her tail. To get back and to be able to with a brace to get back to be able to playing in early January was almost unheard of, and she spent a lot of time down in Huntsville of rehabbing it, and came back, and she might not have had the same quickness that she had when she went down with the injury. But she still had the same shot, and came back and had some big games for us, and just the fact that she worked hard to come back shows a lot of inner character that she has, and what is going to go on and being positive in her life and being a good citizen. She just did not take, she just didn't give in to the injury, and she's to be commended for that. Brianna Sanders. Now last. This kid was all district. She's dealt with various knee injuries her whole career. I wouldn't have bet a lot of money when this year started that she was going to make a full year with her knee. So she doesn't have a lot of meniscus left in one of them. But it was enough for her to get through and to be a great player for us this year. She was great to have on the team. She's by far the strongest player on her team. She worked hard in the weight room. She did finally get that three shot that didn't go in, but I wouldn't have heard the last of it if it had gone in. But she's done a great job for us, been a joy to coach, and that's Samantha Williams. Okay, the other awards, there's not many of them, so we'll get through them pretty quick and then get Coach Tips up here. The academic award will be the first one. This is taken from our juniors and seniors. We preclude the freshmen, sophomores from this. That's the only thing that they're precluded from. But we do the academic award from the juniors and seniors. And the person that won that with a perfect 4.0 was Carly Fee. The Charge Award. Okay, this is one of the very prestigious because it takes a tremendous amount of courage. The girl that led us took 18 charges, and that's 18 called charges. To get 18 of the charges called, she probably took 70 to 75 hits that, and most of them weren't called. So to get 18 of them called, and it was a big influence on our team and a positive influence, but that person was Samantha Williams. Most improved. This could have gone to a couple different players and stuff, but in looking at that, it was if a player starts the season and they can't hardly catch the ball, but they end the season and they're a tremendous influence on our basketball team in a positive way. This girl, and she kind of learned to do it on her own. She'd got to go up and get the ball and find somebody else to pass it to, and then got to be a better rebounder. But what she was a defensive force, and in our district, that became extremely important when you're playing Chevyville and some of the teams that we were playing. And I think she figured out that she could be a player when she blocked Shelby Gibson's shot here during the Christmas tournament. But the player that I thought and the coaches thought that was the most improved, she ended up with 38 blocks on the year. In the limited minutes, as far as playing part-time minutes, she was only 10 blocks off the Lincoln County record that Savannah Hill has. And so I look for her to break that record next year, and that's Lauren Bradley. Go to the Lady Falcon Award, and this goes to someone who can makes good grades. That's good when they walk down the hallways, and we've got a bunch of kids that are like this and things. But it came down to being a great teammate, staying after and working. The grades, just being a nice person, okay? And sometimes they tell you that nice doesn't win. Well, it did this year, because one of the nicest persons I've ever been around is Emily Ogle, and that's the Lady Falcon Award.
We got one surprise.
I once asked Em if she had ever been in trouble, and she said, "I don't think so." So that's great for her. The MVPs, the last award, this was voted on by the teammates. All right, I took this cue, like I told you, that I learned from Coach Tip sometimes, and he's been doing this for a while, and he does it right after the season, so it's fresh in their mind. And we did that this year. Took the girls in the locker room and had them vote for the MVP of our team and the MVP of our 2015-16 basketball season with McKinley Fitch. You got anything, Coach?
I'm good.
Okay. As far as I know, this is, and I appreciate everyone's effort for the help they did this year on our team, and looking forward to doing it again next year.
Okay, before I get started, just a couple of things real quick. We always wait till it's over and then try to yell and get everybody's attention to make sure, but I'm going to do it before Mr. Paul Henry tells me to. If you get an award this afternoon, not tonight, I'm sorry, stay after. He'll want a picture of your individual awards. Is that correct, Mr. Henry? All right, and then also, this is more specifically for the boys basketball team. Just real quick after it's over, if you'll grab a chair and help clean up real quick. I think there's about 120 chairs, about 20 of you guys. That'll be about 6, I think. That's how that works. We'll get those up real quick instead of Mr. Billy Hall and his people having to come in on a Sunday afternoon. I think that won't be very long. So wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. Thank yous. we could be up here all day and probably not say enough about everyone we need to thank. And so Coach Harden did, I thought, a pretty good job, and I will I'll try to review some of those, but I may go a little bit quicker than he did. Not that he went too long, but I just may go a little quicker. Anyway, the first one is the first group of people is Booster Club parents. Obviously, that's pretty much the same group of people. You know, we try not to just spend an extravagant amount of money and just waste money, you know, and all that. But it just takes a little bit of money to run a high school basketball program and to have everyone, you know, dressed in apparel and basketball gear that's comparable to everyone else we play, and so obviously our Booster Club and parent organization plays a big part in that, and plays, you know, actually 100% of the part in that. And so I want to definitely thank you guys for playing that role in our basketball program. Also, while I'm on that topic of parents and Booster Club, now more on the parenting part of it, as Coach Harden said, you know, we're really blessed with boys and girls athletes who are very well mannered, very respectable, and very coachable. And we'll be going to a district meeting on Thursday, and you know, it's not about having. We don't just sit around and talk about it a lot, but you hear stories of other places and other athletes and other parents and other things, other places. And this is a situation where the grass is definitely not greener on the other side. We're very blessed to have players and parents that support Lincoln County High School and Lincoln County basketball the way that you guys do, and that does not go unnoticed. We really appreciate that. And then we'll get to the media part of the people who cover us, which is obviously Mr. Paul Henry, Brian Neese, Austin Coletti, Lance Stevens, and Michael Cothran. All those guys are extremely supportive. They do it for little or no pay, and just do it because they like Lincoln County High School, the athletes, and hopefully most of the time they like Coach Harden and myself and everyone involved in the coaching staff. So they do a good job, and I know they don't get thanked enough. As a matter of fact, I think Lance Stevens right now is down in Huntsville coaching a group of upcoming high school basketball players, hopefully. So I definitely want to thank all those guys. And then our game day staff of Jay Cavender, who keeps the book, Miss Janet Gardner, who usually keeps the clock, Mr. Kyle Davis, who did most of the announcing. He got a little overzealous at one point in one game, and we toned that down a little bit, but it's okay. It was an honest mistake. He was, you know, we like enthusiasm, but he does a really, really good job, and he's got a future in the WWE, probably if whatever he's going to major in doesn't work out. So I appreciate those people doing their jobs. And then as Coach Harden mentioned, Grant Maddox, probably the only bad thing I can think about him, and it is pretty bad, is that he's an Ohio State fan, and that's not good at all. But other than that, he does know what he's doing, and he's a lot of fun to be around. We appreciate Grant being there for athletic training purposes. And then on to our coaching staff here. Appreciate and enjoy working with Coach Horton. Working primarily with the younger guys, and sometimes having to be pretty flexible, because sometimes those situations with young guys sometimes things get changed. Other teams call and say, hey, we don't have enough for a JV, and some of that things happens. Some of that type thing happens last minute, and of course being off campus a little bit is tough at times. And then I just flat out forget, as my wife will tell you, and kids. Sometimes I'm absent-minded. So if there's things I forget to tell her every once in a while, but I appreciate the effort she puts into it and her ability to be flexible and have a sense of humor. We have a pretty good time. So I'd like to thank her. And then Coach Prince, like Coach Harden was saying, it's been interesting to see him change over the years from a former player to a current coach, and see how that type of transformation happens. He's still the guy to me at times that in that gym about 12 years ago got hit in the head with a basketball one day in practice, and it was pretty funny. But a lot of times then at the time he didn't understand. I didn't intentionally hit him with a ball. He just got hit with a ball. Sorry, I don't. Got a camera over here. But now he understands why that happened, I think. But there was not a very good practice, and the ball went flying, and he just happened to be way, way, way away, and it ricocheted a few times and hit him in the head. It was not intentional. But he does a good job. He's a joy to be around, and we have a lot of fun. He's also good at April Fool's jokes, and Sam got to be a part of that the other day. That was pretty funny. Girls coaching staff, Coach Perry got to meet her this year, and enjoyed being around her. Coach Cavender, we spend a lot of time in that gym together. She's a PE teacher like I am, so we're in there about 6 hours a day, and sometimes we have some. What's that?
She's a lot better.
She's a better teacher than me. I agree. So we spend about 6 hours a day in there, and a lot of times we'll have some serious conversations, but a lot of times we don't. We have some pretty good ones, and I think we get along pretty well, and I enjoy her being around. And then Coach Harden, as he mentioned about me, we've gone back a long time, and I've learned. I think it'd probably be impossible for him to learn as much from me as I have from him, and we've had a long-lasting friendship. I've actually coached alongside him probably, I guess now, more than I've played for him. So we've known each other a long time, and I appreciate him willing to listen to sometimes some things I have to say that doesn't make a lot of sense in retrospect. And he's a sounding board, and I appreciate that. And then I hope I haven't missed anyone yet. If I have, I'm sure I'll hear about it at some point. But I think now I'm probably down to probably the most important two groups of people, and that would be my wife, Tori, and my daughters, Grayson and Ansley. They fill a lot of roles. Sometimes it's just, being at home on a Monday or a Thursday or a Saturday whenever I'm out scouting, and, they're probably wanting to go do something, or they go do it without me, or just have to wait at home and go to bed sometimes without seeing me while I'm out scouting a game, and that's part of it. Part of it sometimes is getting to film a game on Huddle, which Grayson and Ansley and Tori all got to do one time this year at Lawrence County. And so I appreciate, and sometimes it's picking up shirts and dancing down there on the baseline during the warm-ups and rebounding for the basketball team. So there's a lot of roles, and sometimes it's making cookies and banana pudding after a big win. So there's a lot of things they do. So probably not going to cover them all, but I do definitely appreciate them and their support. And then the next group would be the players. They at least act like most of the time they're following me through my analogies, and some of the time some of the weird comparisons that I make, which, by the way, my wife is not a big fan of either, guys. But to me, they make a lot of sense. So I'm going to continue to use those analogies. Players, I appreciate them being coachable and them listening, as I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the parents doing a nice job with raising disciplined and well-mannered young men. Before we get to recognizing individual players, we'll talk about the season just a little bit. I think definitely when you look at the season as a whole, we improved over the last couple of years. We began this year with 24 players in our basketball program, freshmen through seniors. Only 7 of those players had ever played in a high school basketball game in any significant minutes. So we had 17 players with no varsity experience. With that, we were able to hold teams to the fewest points per game in district games that we've ever held anyone in the last 12 years since I've been here. And you always hear that defense is about desire and effort. So I think that's probably a pretty telling stat that they had a lot of desire and effort in trying to compete and trying to win. And that's probably the stat that we need to be the most proud of with this particular team, is been able to hold teams to the fewest points per game that we've held anyone in the last 12 years. And we were basically tied for second place with 2 games left in our regular season. And at that point, and it's probably a little bit, if we want to look for excuses, and that's not really what we want to do, but if we want to look for reasons maybe, having a lot of young guys, a lot of inexperienced guys, at times you tend to get mentally worn out. You kind of hit a wall mentally, just the grind of the season wears on you. And then we always struggled throughout the year with making shots. And those 2 factors affected us greatly in the last 2 regular season games. We went to Tullahoma and really, really struggled to score. Went to Shelbyville, really, really struggled to score. And then here against Franklin County in the district tournament, really struggled to score. And, you can watch any level of basketball. If you struggle, if you get open shots, usually that's probably good enough because you're going to make enough of those that you're going to be okay. But we didn't do that in the last 3 games. So overall, the season was a success. But I guess the best way to compare it is when you go to a movie and you see this is an analogy. When you go to a movie and you see a good one, but it kind of ends, and you're like, I didn't like how that ended. That's kind of how I would say the season. It was good, but just that last 5 or 10 minutes, either the man and woman didn't get married like a lot of movies we go see, or those chick flick movies, or the hero didn't get whatever he was supposed to get, whatever. It didn't end right. Okay, so we want to continue to work and make sure the season ends better than this one, and that's not a slight to anyone. That's not a lack of effort. It just you hear all the time, especially it seems obviously in March Madness that teams are playing well this time of year. It's not like the teams who are not playing well aren't trying. It's just the ball doesn't go in, the ball doesn't bounce the right way, and it's just something you would like for the season to go on long enough so you could start playing well. But eventually you're going to hit an elimination game. If you don't play well in that game, you're going home pretty quick. So we got to continue to work to get mentally stronger so we can endure the rigors of the season, because it is a rigorous type season, getting home late and a lot of tough games. And then we got to also continue to improve our ability to score the basketball, which we've got a lot of guys right now that are returning that are working on doing that right now. So hopefully things will continue to improve as we go on. But I do think it was a successful season. With that, we'll start calling groups of players up, and we'll start with the freshmen. And freshmen did a good job of coming in and trying to fit in and following the example of those few guys who we had returning from the previous year who had actually been through a varsity practice. And the freshmen did a nice job of following the example that was set before them of how to come into practice, how to handle yourself, how to prepare for a game. And we had a big group of freshmen. We had 13, so that's over half of your program. When you have 13 incoming freshmen with only 24 total players. So the freshmen did a nice job of that. And had a couple of guys play some varsity minutes. Everyone got to dress out at some point. And at best thinking off the top of my head, I'm almost positive everyone got into a game at least for a second or two throughout the year. So that's a pretty big deal as freshmen to be able to do that. And those players are, I'll start with in alphabetical order. We'll just call them up and we'll go from there. First one is Christian Counts. Christian, I gave you the wrong one, sorry. There you go. Next one is Jonathan Carpenter. And I realize that was not alphabetical order. Christian Carpenter comes before Counts. All right, I think we're back in the alphabet. Logan Davis. Next one, I don't believe he's here today, Devin Gifford. Cole Hamlin. Samuel Lehman. Reese McDowell. Austin Mann. Holt Richardson. Caleb Troutman. And I believe 2 freshmen who are not here. I didn't catch Devin's, but Brian Alford and Cooper Moran I do not believe are here, but I do want to recognize those guys. Moving on to our sophomores. Our sophomores were kind of like upperclassmen on this year's team because we had so many freshmen. They were they were in the older half of our program. They all did a good job. Like Coach Harden, I think, was alluding to earlier with his sophomores. Now it's a really big jump into becoming a junior. A lot more responsibility as far as on the floor type things that are be required. In growing into from junior varsity, a lot of junior varsity minutes to hopefully quite a few varsity type minutes. But they all did a good job. They're really good guys, as all of them are in our program. And those guys are, the first one is Cyrus Blackwell. Next one is Kyle Clem. Ruslan Gaines. Taylor Glegor. Move on to our juniors, and these guys played a lot. All four of those guys, these juniors, played a lot of minutes. Did a nice job, and they made that next step from sophomores into juniors into playing a big role in this year's team. A lot of minutes on the floor, a lot of leadership during practice. During the off-season conditioning, and they all did a nice job. And the first one is Seth Bertarelli. This next young man was one of our leaders in three-point percentage. He's a great teammate, seemingly one of the most unselfish people I've been around. Does a really good job. A lot of times, it's just by happenstance that our camera is on the other side from our bench, and a lot of times it's funny to go back and watch. You guys will probably never believe it. Y'all think I'm probably just some guy with no personality at 11 o'clock at night watching film, just trying to get to the next mistake. But I do rewind and laugh at the bench sometimes, just quietly because they're asleep. But and this guy does a pretty good celebration. Grayson was, I was trying to think where it was. Grayson got in on some of that. I showed her one day. But anyway, he does a good job not only on the bench but on the floor, and looking for big things from him in the future, and that's Noah Sapak. This next young man has also played a lot of minutes for us here in the last couple of years. Another good teammate, another good leader. As his leadership continues to grow, I think he'll continue to improve as a leader and do a good job and continue to improve on the floor. He's already doing a nice job in the gym right now in the off season, and that's Alex Suzinski. Our last junior is probably the energetic leader for our team. Whenever he's playing with a lot of energy and playing well, that's kind of where we hit our stride. I mentioned earlier we're in the season on not playing as well as we had earlier in the year. When we were playing well a week or two prior to the season and went on a roll of beating some pretty good teams, this young man was playing some of the best basketball in our district. And on that note, he was recognized as our one of our two all-district players, the other one being Seth Bertarelli, which I failed to mention earlier. But this young man I'm about to mention does a nice job with his energy level. He's continuing to try to work on his game and improve his individual skills. But he does a really good job for us, and that's Zakias Tate. Okay, with that, we'll start with our individual awards that we have, and have Coach Prince up here to make sure I don't mess up. And then the afternoon will be yours. This first award is the Most Improved Award, and with so many young guys, we probably could have had a few different guys that you definitely could have made an argument for that they deserve it. This young man played probably more minutes as a sophomore point guard in our district than anybody else in our district. A lot of the players he was playing against were a couple years older than him, and he did a nice job of coming in with a lot of inexperience as far as on the court playing time in the varsity goes. And a pretty amazing stat for a sophomore point guard in AAA basketball is that he had more assists than turnovers. He led us in assists. And again, he had more assists than turnovers. And as a sophomore, a lot of times that's tough to do, especially playing point guard when you're handling basketball as much as you do. He's continued to improve as an offensive player, and a big part of that improvement is just looking himself to be a little bit more aggressive and be aware when he's open and be able to knock down shots. And I was mentioning earlier about Zacchaeus during that stretch we were playing well. Zacchaeus is playing really, really well. And that's also about the time Kyle started getting a little bit more aggressive and really shooting the ball pretty well, and helped us win a lot of big games this year. And so the most improved player is Kyle Clem. Academic award. We had a lot of guys who were pretty close, but no one who had quite the GPA that this young man did, and he had a 4.0, and obviously does a good job in the classroom. Obviously, he's probably naturally gifted as well, but he follows that with a strong work ethic, and teachers come and tell and brag on a lot of our players, but this is a young man that gets high compliments from a lot of his teachers, and he had a 4.0 this year, and that's Alex Suzinski. Before we get to our senior awards, we'll go ahead and give out our MVP. And like Coach Harden mentioned, this is voted on by our team. And, you know, there's, again, probably could have mentioned, voted for a couple of different guys, because a couple of different players everybody plays a pretty important role on the team. This young man really improved a lot from his sophomore year, and led us in scoring, led us in rebounding. Is right there kind of along with Zacchaeus, has been an energy guy and bring a lot of energy in practice and in games, and kind of whenever he was playing really well, obviously we all looked a little bit better. And he had a big year for us this past season, and looking for big things next year, and that's Seth Bertarelli. All right, our senior awards. This first young man, this is his first season playing basketball here at Lincoln County. I was excited last spring whenever he came walking in the door. I had no idea Eli was going to try out, but I was happy he did. And so definitely kept him, and he brought a little bit of guard skill to the position that he played. Eli, I've never asked you this, I guess, because it didn't matter. Whatever you said didn't matter anyway. But you never played really the post at all, I don't think, in your life. Maybe 4 of the 5, never posted up. But he made the team as a sophomore and then got injured in football before he was able to come back to basketball as a sophomore. So at that point, as a sophomore, he was quite a bit smaller. But now he's lifted a few weights, I think, probably. But he got a lot bigger and kind of grew out of being a guard, and plus having a couple years off, not shooting the basketball a lot in the meantime. Obviously, he was going to struggle being more of a guard, and his body fit more as a post. And he did a good job for us. And probably the only thing I can say that's negative is that he didn't get a couple more years to play here, and I wish that would have been the case, but that's how it goes sometimes, and he couldn't control a lot of that. But he did a good job this year, and that's Eli Eason. Yeah. There's a picture. I don't know what you're going to do with it. All right, this next senior is one of the most consistent people I've ever met, I think. He doesn't seem to get too high, doesn't seem to get too low. He brings a consistent work ethic every day. Was a little bit undersized. for the position he played all 3 years. Got a little bit bigger as it went, but seemed like every night probably, I don't know how many games we've had here since you played here, Ryan, but probably 90-something games, and probably every time he had to play at least probably 15, 20 minutes a night for those 3 years, he was always guarding someone a little bit bigger than he was every second of every game that he ever played in. But he did a good job, and very consistent young man, and all these guys, not just seniors, but all of our guys, as long as they keep the same attitude and keep the same work ethic, are definitely going to leave here and be successful people in our society. And this particular young man is Ryan Hall. This last senior, along with his senior award, he's also going to receive the Falcon Award. So I'll talk a little bit about the Falcon Award real quick and why he is deserving of that. And again, as Coach Harden I think mentioned, or maybe it's me just talking earlier, because sometimes I forget what I say, right guys? The Falcon Award is what you would like to set out there as an example of this is what a Lincoln County Falcon should be or should act like, or this is how they should carry themselves. And this young man did a really good job with it for the last 3 years. Did a really good job this year. He's probably the best example of how to lead by example. He's not extremely vocal. He did get to where he talked some before he graduated, but that's not the most important thing. It's about how you carry yourself, because it doesn't matter what you say, it's what you do. And this guy is one of those guys who just does it every day, leads us in sprints, leads us in one of our leaders in three-point shooting, our best defender this year in most situations. Good student, hard worker, very polite. I don't think we've ever had a discipline problem here at Lincoln County High School that involved Eli Slayton. He's a good young man, so he's going to receive the Senior Award and the Falcon Award. Eli Slayton. Okay, I think that should conclude the day as far as I know. Did you remember anything? Oh, that was a bad question. Coach Harden, remember anything? Sorry, wrong person. Anyway, if you got an award today, please make sure Mr. Paul Henry sees you so he can snap a picture of you real quick. And appreciate you guys coming out. Hopefully Sunday afternoon worked well for everybody. Sometimes it's tough on a weeknight to get a weeknight that's good for everyone. So it's a pretty day out there. Sorry you had to come inside for an hour and 15 minutes of it. But we do appreciate you guys coming, and thank you guys for coming out.